Welcome to Letter of the Week. Today we're going to look at two examples of what could be viewed as insufficient action by police when dealing with detainees, leading to much greater convictions. These cases are both involving the most simple of police tools, the handcuff. Many instances exist of people being detained on no charge or arrested for a minor charge where insufficient action of the police involved directly lead to further offences being carried out, and the courts imposing much greater penalties, which could have been totally avoided by more diligent police action. In both instances we're going to see here, the detainees were insufficiently handcuffed and not monitored by police, and were able to slip their bonds unnoticed. Obviously, this is not a good idea and will increase any charges. But to people with mental health or drug issues, it may seem like a valid way to try and get out of their predicament. However, this has very serious ramifications for the safety of everyone involved. Not just the detainees and the police that restrain them, but also the general public can be placed in serious danger as a desperate attempt to escape plays out. The first case we're going to look at today involves a homeowner from Blanchard, Oklahoma, calling 911 to report some very strange antics going on in his front yard. This call was later explained by police as a welfare check. The call happened on Friday, August 12, 2022 at 11:45am. The police were soon on the scene at the corner of Quailhaven Road and County Street 2960 to discover Rachael 𝕎𝔼𝔸𝕂 yelling things that didn't make sense, like, "Answer the phone, you let her die, I'm not human, you killed her," and also talking about a child needing a blood transfusion. Grady County Under Sheriff Gary Boggess said that Rachael was allegedly in the front yard barking like a dog and crawling on the ground when deputies first arrived. Now, this was a welfare check and not a trespassing charge, so it assumes that there was some sort of relationship between Rachael and anyone at the house. This aspect was never even looked into in any police reports. It's a little bit off topic right now, so we'll look into that a little bit later. So getting back on track, Rachael was a known methamphetamine user, which certainly provides some explanation for her behaviour. And due to this erratic behaviour and the likelihood of narcotic intoxication, the deputies decided to detain her for her own safety. But it turns out that safety was the last thing on the cards as a result of detaining Rachael. The deputies put Rachael in double-lock handcuffs and detained her in the back seat of their patrol SUV while they interviewed the father of the homeowner, 𝕃𝕖𝕥𝕥𝕂, leaving Rachael unsupervised for up to 20 minutes. But it doesn't matter how many locks are on the handcuffs when you can compress your wrists and slip out of them. Have a look at what happens. Rachael is able to undo her seatbelt, and after a small amount of effort, slip her hand entirely out of the handcuffs. Now that she is uncuffed, Rachael is able to reach through to the front of the cab and press a button on the console simply marked "Gun." This button springs open the gun safe and allows Rachael to access an AR-15 assault rifle, which she is able to pull through into the back seat. Now, this is a really serious weapon that Rachael would never have had access to if the police didn't put her there.
It took her about 15-20 minutes to figure out how to operate the gun. She was pushing buttons. She was frantic.
After taking one aimed shot and hitting the father of the homeowner, 𝕃𝕖𝕥𝕥𝕂, seconds later, Rachael puts her head down and fires 9 more rounds randomly out the window.
Ow! What was that? Danny, I'm hit right here. We got shots fired up here. We need backup immediately. Start EMS. Start EMS. We got a civilian. Hit. What the heck? Did she get out of her cuffs? Huh? Shots fired. Get over here. Get over here, your dad's hit, man.
More and more police gathered on site, and eventually armoured vehicles arrived on scene, and a breaching tool mounted on one was able to break the back window of the Grady County Police SUV. Rachael opened the door of the SUV and surrendered peacefully at about 4:45 p.m. And don't ask me where that little black dog came from, it seems to be able to teleport. Rachael was charged with 3 counts of shooting with intent to kill. It makes you wonder how easily it would have been to avoid all of this. If Rachael was just taken home or securely cuffed and monitored, this situation would never have escalated in this way, and she would not have to pay such a heavy consequence. Now she has been charged with shooting with intent to kill. It was obvious from Rachael's behaviour that she was not in a stable mental place. And should she really be held accountable for essentially being given access to an assault rifle? She certainly wouldn't have had access to any firearms whatsoever if she was not detained without any charges. It really made me think, and I had to dig a little bit deeper. So what was she doing out there in the first place? She must have had some specific reason to be out in this semi-rural location. I had a look into her background and the background of the father of the homeowner who she shot in the chest, Dale Clark Moses. It turned out that Dale, just like Rachael, had an ongoing history in the local area regarding controlled dangerous substances, and more specifically methamphetamine, including its manufacture and distribution. If we have a look at the public record of criminal activity, we can see for Dale Clark Moses, we've got a long list. Endeavouring to manufacture controlled dangerous substances, possession of precursors with intent to manufacture, maintaining a dwelling where controlled dangerous substances are kept for sale, possession of controlled dangerous substances with intent to distribute, endeavouring to manufacture controlled dangerous substances, possession of controlled substance, possession of controlled drug with intent to distribute, distribution of controlled dangerous substances, possession of with intent, manufacture of controlled dangerous substances, acquire proceeds from drug activity, etc., etc. Now if we compare to Rachael Zion Clay's criminal search, also known by a previous name, Rachael Zion Davis, or Rachael Davis. Distribution of controlled dangerous substances not in course of legit business, possession of controlled substance, distribution of controlled dangerous substance not in course of legit business, possession of controlled substance, distribution of controlled dangerous substance, possession of with intent, distribution of controlled dangerous substances not in course of legit business, unlawful possession of controlled dangerous substance with intent to distribute, possession of meth, obtaining a controlled dangerous substance by fraud. She's not looking so happy now. And now all those charges are listed lumped in together. So with all these criminal charges in common, it appears there may be something more than a casual connection between Rachael and the man she shot. But I don't suppose we'll ever really find out. The police will be too busy trying to make this incident just go away as quickly as possible. So that brings us to a second example of the inability of police to properly restrain a detainee and adequately monitor them. In this case, a simple shoplifting charge escalated into a 45-year sentence for this poor woman. So this story starts with Toscha Sponsler, 33, who was arrested on suspicion of shoplifting at the Ultra Beauty store in Lufkin, Texas. Toscha was handcuffed and locked in the back of a police cruiser. But once she was left alone, it didn't take her more than a few seconds to slip her bonds. After observing the movements of the police and waiting for an opportune moment, she was able to quickly slither through the plexiglass partition into the front seat of the cruiser and make her getaway. The police were busy searching the contents of her bags and seemed pretty surprised that she was able to give them the slip. So what follows is a lengthy and speedy pursuit, with Toscha dodging, pursuing police and weaving through the traffic in a desperate attempt for freedom. Speeds were said to reach up to 100 miles per hour and obviously posed a safety risk to the general public. Toscha eventually gets hit by a trooper's pit manoeuvre and loses control, sliding out into a grassy area and stalling the cruiser. Her police pursuers quickly surround the vehicle, breaking the window to gain access.
Bust no weapon, Donnie. Bust the window. Bust the window. Where's the window punch? Window punch! Window punch! Window punch! Window punch! Keep it covered. Keep it covered, man. Cover, cover. Cover, I got covered.
Now, due to her being inadequately restrained and supervised, instead of one simple shoplifting misdemeanour, she's now also charged with escape causing serious bodily injury, evading arrest with a vehicle, unauthorised use of a vehicle, aggravated assault against a public servant, and possession of controlled substance, which you might have guessed was methamphetamine. So Toscha went to court and was found guilty on all charges and was sentenced to 45 years in prison. So the moral of the story? Don't do meth. And police, please pay attention to your detainees, especially anyone who has any association with methamphetamine. Literally everyone involved would be so much better off if you do so. Let us know in the comments if you think that the police should be held more accountable for detainees escaping whilst under their supervision, or whether you think that the blame is all on the escapees, regardless of any mental health or drug issues they may have. Thanks for watching. I look forward to bringing you another Letter of the Week.
Goodbye.